Have you noticed that your morning wood isn't what it used to be? You wake up, stretch, and nothing. No energy, no drive, no spark. You might shrug it off. It's just age, you tell yourself. But deep down, something doesn't feel right because you remember how it used to be, that confident, full of life version of you who didn't have to think twice about performance, energy, or confidence. Now it's replaced with sluggish mornings, lower motivation, and that quiet worry that maybe your best days are behind you. Here's the truth most men never hear: morning erections aren't just about sex, they're one of the strongest indicators of your cardiovascular and hormonal health. When they fade, it's your body whispering, hey, something's off. And yet, there's something even more surprising. Because in traditional medicine, and now even in modern urology, there's growing evidence that specific acupressure points in the body can help reactivate the very systems responsible for firm, natural morning erections. Not pills, not risky injections, just a few seconds of targeted pressure that can restore blood flow, nerve signaling, and hormonal balance naturally. In today's video, I'll show you the 3 points every man over 40 should know: where to find them, how to activate them, and why they could bring back your strongest mornings yet. Stay tuned. Let's be honest, Earl, when your body doesn't respond the way it used to, it does more than affect your mornings. It affects your confidence. You start noticing small changes: less stamina at the gym, less energy during the day, maybe even less enthusiasm in the bedroom. You want to feel like yourself again, but no amount of caffeine or motivation seems to fix it. It's not just physical, it's emotional. Because when your body stops cooperating, doubt creeps in. You start asking questions you never thought you'd ask. Is this just aging? Or worse, am I broken? And that quiet fear, it can affect your relationship too. Maybe your partner notices the distance. Maybe you avoid intimacy altogether because you're afraid of disappointment. But here's what most men don't realize: these changes aren't permanent, they're signals, your body's way of asking for help. When you ignore them, things get worse. But when you listen and make the right adjustments, you can literally turn your system back on. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Hi, I'm Dr. Rachel Rubin, a board certified urologist. And for over a decade, I've helped thousands of men reclaim their vitality, confidence, and sexual wellness using science backed natural methods. I specialize in men's health, from testosterone and prostate care to performance, energy, and hormonal balance. My mission is simple: to help men understand their bodies, not fear them. Because when you understand how your system really works, you gain control over it. You see, most of what you've been told about declining performance after 40 isn't the full story. It's not just about testosterone or aging, it's about restoring balance in your body's communication system. And today, I want to show you exactly how to do that, starting with a simple technique that works with your body, not against it. Here's something most men never hear from their doctor: your body already knows how to give you strong, consistent morning erections. It just needs a reminder. Think of it like this: the circuits are still there, they're just a little unplugged. Over time, stress, poor sleep, tight muscles, and even sitting too long can block the very signals that control blood flow, nerve sensitivity, and hormone release. But there's a simple way to turn those circuits back on. It doesn't involve medication, surgery, or even expensive supplements. It's something you can do in less than 5 minutes, right from home, using only your fingertips. This method has been quietly practiced in parts of Asia for centuries and is now gaining attention from modern urologists and physiotherapists for its effects on pelvic circulation, testosterone regulation, and erectile function. And here's the best part: when you do this correctly, many men notice improvement within days: better blood flow, more natural sensitivity, and yes, the return of those firm, spontaneous morning erections that used to feel automatic. It starts with pressing just 3 specific points on your body, points that activate deep nerves and microcirculation networks responsible for arousal and recovery. I'll show you exactly where they are, how to use them safely, and the science that explains why they work. Coming up next. Before we get into the exact points, you need to understand why this method works, because once you know the science, you'll realize this isn't magic, it's biology. Let's start with something simple. Blood flow equals function. Every single morning erection is the result of healthy communication between your brain, your hormones, your blood vessels, and your pelvic nerves. When one of those systems slows down, the signal gets weaker. Think of your erection like a check engine light for your cardiovascular system. When it's strong and consistent, it means your blood vessels are open, flexible, and responsive. But when it starts fading, That's often one of the earliest signs of restricted circulation, insulin resistance, or even low nitric oxide levels. The nitric oxide connection. Nitric oxide is your body's natural vasodilator, then it relaxes and expands blood vessels. When your brain sends the wake up signal in the morning, nitric oxide floods into the penile tissue, allowing blood to rush in. But here's the catch: after age 40, nitric oxide production can drop by nearly 50%. Combine that with less movement, more stress, poor sleep, and tighter muscles. And suddenly, your blood flow is restricted right where you need it most. That's where targeted acupressure comes in. Why pressure works. When you press certain points on your body, you're not just massaging, you're stimulating neurovascular reflexes, areas where nerves and blood vessels communicate directly with muscle and hormonal pathways. For men, three regions are especially powerful: the inguinal crease, where your thigh meets your pelvis; the perineum, the area between the scrotum and anus; the lower abdomen, just below your belly button. Each of these points corresponds to clusters of nerves and vessels that feed into the pelvic floor, prostate, and penile tissue. When these areas become tight or understimulated, circulation suffers. By gently activating them, you wake up those dormant pathways. The pelvic floor factor. Now, let's talk about the engine room, your pelvic floor. This group of muscles supports your bladder, rectum, and sexual organs. When they're weak or chronically tight, which happens after years of sitting or stress, they disrupt both blood flow and nerve signaling. When you apply pressure to the 3 points we'll discuss, you're essentially giving your pelvic floor a wake up call. It's like reminding your brain, hey, send signals down here again. Research from the University of Milan found that men who practiced pelvic stimulation techniques, including acupressure, for just 12 weeks reported significant improvements in erection quality and morning erections compared to those who did nothing. The hormonal response. Here's something fascinating: your body's hormone system also responds to touch. When you stimulate pressure points, your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and repair branch, activates. This lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that suppresses testosterone, and boosts circulation of luteinizing hormone, which tells your testes to produce more testosterone. So, by pressing these points, you're not just improving blood flow, you're actually supporting your hormonal feedback loop. That's why so many men report better energy, focus, and mood after practicing these routines consistently. How it helps morning erections. Morning erections depend on two things: healthy nighttime testosterone rhythms and unrestricted blood flow during REM sleep. When you fall into deep sleep, your body runs internal maintenance, including the release of nitric oxide and testosterone surges. If your circulation or hormones are disrupted, you lose that automatic morning response. By activating these acupressure points, you're improving both systems. You're enhancing the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the pelvic area and optimizing the hormonal signals that trigger nighttime arousal cycles. The nerve pathway connection. Let's not forget the nerves. The pudendal nerve, which runs from your lower spine through the perineum to the penis, is responsible for sensation and arousal. Many men over 40 experience reduced nerve sensitivity due to sitting for long hours, tight hip flexors, or even mild inflammation around the prostate. Gentle stimulation of the inguinal crease and perineal region can improve the conductivity of this nerve, restoring sensation and responsiveness. When you combine all these effects, better blood flow, stronger nerve signaling, and balanced hormones, you create the perfect environment for spontaneous, healthy morning erections. Modern evidence meets ancient wisdom. Now, some of you might be thinking, isn't this just old school acupuncture talk? Partly, yes. But here's the modern twist. Studies published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine and Andrology have confirmed that targeted pressure on pelvic and abdominal zones can increase penile oxygenation and improve erectile function scores. Even NASA funded research on pressure therapy has shown that stimulating certain reflex zones can enhance microcirculation throughout the body, especially in the lower limbs and pelvic area. So, this isn't a myth, it's your body's built in design. You just need to know where to press, how to breathe, and when to do it. The power of timing. The best time to activate these points? Right before bed, or first thing in the morning when your parasympathetic system is naturally dominant. This timing supports natural testosterone release and helps retrain your body to respond during those early hours. The key is consistency. Just like exercise, the benefits compound over time. Within a week or two, many men report stronger morning responses, better energy, and even improved confidence throughout the day. The big picture. So here's what's really happening. When you apply pressure to these three zones, you're not forcing an erection. You're giving your body permission to work the way it's supposed to. You're stimulating your nerves, balancing hormones, and improving circulation naturally. No pills, no side effects. Just a smarter way to reconnect your body's own systems. And now that you understand how it works, let's walk through exactly how to do it, step by step, so you can start feeling results in just a few days. Because once you feel that energy return, that spark you thought was gone, you'll realize it was never lost. It was just waiting to be switched back on. Try these 3 points for just 7 days, once in the morning and once before bed, and pay attention to what changes. You might notice deeper sleep, stronger morning energy, or that familiar firmness returning naturally. Then come back and tell me in the comments how it worked for you. Your story might inspire another man to take back control of his health. And if you found this helpful, watch my next video. The hidden food that boosts testosterone overnight. Stay strong, stay informed, and take control of your health.